We roll out this product once a week here, Friday, live stream to kind of take the gloves off a little bit. Offer up a live Q&A for anybody that wants to make their way into the studio. They certainly can. I typically run the show myself. I do drop an invite at the top of the live stream. Welcome everybody. I appreciate you guys and appreciate everybody who's been with the message for quite some time. Been doing this project a while. Sure do look forward to it. What a great opportunity to reach people and reach people on a level that I could never reach one-on-one. Had some great engagement this week with some of my work colleagues. Those are one-on-ones, and to get to speak to people on that level only continually validates for me people's desire to grow personal wealth, but maybe not finding the confidence enough to step out there and say, "You bet, I've got this thing." And it carries a whole lot more weight, and it does fall into the empowered definition of those folks out there that absolutely 100% believe that they cannot do it. They cannot, and those personal barriers, they're very, very real for people. I mean, I can get you fired up, no doubt about it. I can motivate. I'm a motivator. You'll get done with my live stream and you'll be like, God dang, man, this is incredible. I just watched the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. I thought I was just going to sit back and get a little entertainment, and then it'll be forgettable. And you'll watch it. You get excited. You get excited about the prospects of wealth building on the granular level. Really, the nuts and bolts from A, B to C really are not that complicated. They are not. The allure of passive investing should absolutely be much, much more prevalent, and it is not. There are a ton of people who, by nature of their own barriers, fail to see the benefits of entry level investing. Passive investing is just that. It is the most powerful form of investing, which is a beautiful thing. A lot of people think that, and a lot of what we do, we have to aspire to greatness after many, many years. The irony in investing is the greatest thing that you could possibly do in your investing game is to enter into the passive game right up front. And that's what we look to do. We look to take you and put you right at the end of the marathon, the New York City Marathon. By God, we put you right at the end of the race, man. So imagine you're standing at the end of the race. You've already broken the tape. You're drinking your beautiful ice cold bottled water or whatever suits your fancy. You're already a winner. Okay. I break down this gig. I take 25 years of experience. I wrap it up into a nice little pill. You pop it, make it happen for yourself, and you'll find that the only regret that you'll ever have is not doing it sooner in life. I use terms like participant. I use phrases so that you can approach wealth building the way that you approach other things in your life that are much more socially acceptable. I was thinking before I came live, if most people could just buy BOO like they buy a couch and forget it, it would be lovely, right? Couch is wonderful, holds your ass up off the seat. You get to watch television. It's much more comfortable than sitting on a floor. I tell you what, you learn to appreciate those small amenities in life, and they are forgettable while you have the couch nicely positioned in your living room. But I tell you what, when you are void of said couch and you have to sit your ass on the floor, it becomes very, very uncomfortable very, very quickly. Okay. But the very rationale that we go through, everybody's got to have a couch, everybody's got to have an end table. I beg to differ, right? I could do without some of those things. And furniture shopping is one of the most unpleasant things that I do. Chalk it up there with some of those things that I really just don't enjoy very much. Um, but if we could approach investing with somewhat of the same ferocity that we justify some of our expenditures in life, I think we would be so much better off. And I'm not saying sell the farm. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying establish the majority of your net worth and put it into the stock market. That's not the idea. The idea is to supplement your existing life here with a little bit of capital that can be put to risk. You take that block of capital, whether it be your starting amount only needs to go in one time. Initial funding, Okay. Initial funding goes into to get that start to get you from a non-investor to an investor. That's your initial start, your initial funding amount. Okay. Strategic fund ups will happen over the course of your investing career, but I find all the time that for a beginning investor, that initial fund up is the very scariest. It is the hardest, and it is absolutely one of those things that a lot of investors fail to achieve in their entire life. They go their entire life and they never participate in financial markets. It's a regrettable either decision that you made or an unfortunate coming about in your life to where you were never introduced to financial markets. I aim to at least provide a one-way conduit to markets, a one-way street. So anybody who comes to the message, they can come in and they can say, okay, wow, I might not have found financial markets if it wasn't for Ryan. Great. Nothing special about me, guys. And the stock market's no secret. But it's amazing to me how it escapes a lot of people. That's what's fascinating to me. Fascinating. I come on and I share a tutorial, and I'm by no means a perfect investor. I have in my notes here, a lot of people perhaps maybe expect perfection from the stock market, and when it becomes less than perfect, right? We throw in the towel and say, "See, I told you it was going to do this, Hank. I told you we were going to lose everything." Um, I think had you entered the game with some fair expectations of what the game had to offer, perhaps maybe you could have taken into consideration that there were two sides to the coin. There is a spectrum that you have to work along, and advanced investors know how to work along that spectrum. And we can flex. We can be very, very flexible with our application like a rubber band, and it can flex it really indefinitely. And that's really one of those bottom line, fundamental, tried and true methods to the stock market. I heard twice today, never invest what you can't afford to lose. I heard it twice. Um, I don't like it. Here's why. When you state something like that, it almost implies that you're getting involved in a game where you need to be prepared. And I'll be fair with my odds to say that 50-50, the odds are that you are going to lose in that said game. Okay. Anybody who has been invested in the stock market over the history of the stock market, it is a mathematical fact that anybody involved passively in the stock market over the 100 years of the S&P 500, you would have had a 99% chance of success. We go back to our comment. Don't invest with which you can't afford to lose. I just told you you had a 99% success ratio to play the very game, to enter into the very flagship account that I talk about. I released a video this week on VTI, probably my favorite total stock market index. I am an owner of VTI in my brokerage account. VOO is a very, very good product as well. But what gives? Okay. What is this stigma about stock market investing that prohibits so many people from breaking down the barriers? And I would suggest that people have such barriers that they don't even want to try to the smallest capacity that they could enter into financial markets. It's as if you get 1% of your nest egg put away in the stock market, and all of a sudden you're going to spontaneously combust, and you're going to panic yourself out, and you're going to go buy another couch. I don't get the stigma. I really don't. If you guys can help me understand, I'm wired different. And I find this out when I engage with people out there who come with these cliches. I made a note here that a lot of what drives people's uh, ideas about the stock market, I considered to be generational tendencies. What you learned from mom and dad, or the guardians that brought you up, more specifically perhaps maybe mistakes that they had made in their investing career, and therefore since they made the mistake, therefore it is absolutely off limits for you to engage in the stock market. And I just sit back and I look at the 99% success ratio. Now, I don't mean to presume that going forward, you would have had a 99% chance of success in the stock market. What I would suggest is looking at historical norms in the stock market. It's been a very, very lucrative engagement through up and bad times. It's just that simple. So if you were involved in the markets over those time periods and you held true on the markets, you would have succeeded. It's just that simple. But since mom or dad entered into an investment that didn't work out, maybe they entered into the next greatest gardening tool that just didn't work out. Home Depot came and just bought them up, and the company goes out of business, and Home Depot buys it, and they just make it as a knockoff or whatever. I always talk about the next best thing as being that area of the stock market that so many people think that they have to get involved with and find that next best thing that's going to take them to millions. And you're overthinking it at that point. You really are. You need to invest in those companies with an established moat. Invest in those brand names, those companies that everybody loves, and it becomes really less about investing your money, your initial capital put to risk to render a profit later, as opposed to you just becoming a participant in that particular stock. Coca-Cola, for example, is going to pay you a quarterly dividend no matter what. Dare I say guarantee? I typically don't try to use those words when it pertains to the stock market. But here's the thing, guys, we need to be a little bit more challenging with our application here. We need to understand the real psychology behind why people justify not participating into financial markets. And furthermore, they would share insightful information enough to suggest that you should only invest what you are willing to lose. I think that's a loser's mentality. I don't like it. The undertone and the underpin of that, and I saw it twice, and I saw it from somebody that I really, really respect. He's probably made his way in here. And Matt's been pretty active on Twitter. I have all the respect in the world, and I think the intent of the statement is probably good to enter into financial markets with somewhat of a defensive posture in mind. I totally get it, but here's the thing: are you playing not to lose, or are you playing to win? Where is it in your application that would suggest that you are not eligible to be aggressive on said application? Where is it suggested that you are not to be aggressive on avoiding potential regret later on in life? I'm not a judgmental person. I'm really not. But is it safe to presume that there are people entering into retirement without ample funding to uphold a standard of living, or at least even maybe force a drastic reduction in the quality of life that they've become accustomed to over the course of their life? It should piss you off. hmm Should piss you off. Yeah. You should fill your minutes each and every day, looking to strive toward an end. Look, if I turn over a leaf at 59, which is my target date retirement, and I'm like, you know what, my road, my winding road, sometimes straight, sometimes winding, sometimes up, sometimes down, did not render me where I needed to be, I'll reevaluate at that time. But by God, it's not going to be by nature of missing opportunities. It is not going to be by nature of me being complacent. It is not going to be by nature of me pursuing and staying hungry and remaining to stand and stay valid, and dare I say, provide my time on a Friday live stream for people out there who may need a little bit of guidance, tutelage. And I've always stated, look, here's a cliche for you. You really want to understand a topic, teach on it. That'll sharpen you. You guys think that this might be just a one-way street where I get in here and talk to my digital camera, and I have an audience of thumbnails come in every Friday and engage with me on a Q&A, and I do want to thank you for your time. It's hardly that. It's hardly that. It is a two-way reciprocated deal here, guys. And I'll go one further to suggest maybe that we just clicked over the 28,000 subscriber mark. They've got over 800 videos on YouTube. means absolutely nothing to me if I'm speaking into a vacuum and we are not reaching people. I'll do something else with my time. I'll be selfish with my time. The I2 is not about being selfish with my time. The I2 is about reaching people. And it's about separating people from what they think is possible and what is actually possible. And for every person out there, it differs. Some people don't think they can do it at all, and they are capable of achieving great wealth in their life. Folks like myself believe that we can achieve great wealth in life, but it's yet to be seen whether or not the pedigree that I come to the table, the ferocity, the aggressive nature by which I save and really do aggressively save. I shared some of my insights this week on some of the videos through the channel. But does that guarantee me success, hard work? Hell no. Hell no. Sure doesn't. I'm a realist. And I'm very, very aware when I uproot and move and my life is kind of up in the air. I'm very, very aware. I'm very, very aware that when the portfolio takes a retraction. I'm very, very aware when I get lackadaisical on some of those habits that I know I have to do: diet, exercise, spiritual well-being, etc. Things like that. Right? I'm very, very aware. How aware are you? Right? Is that some of the things that you take away from the channel? So we're going to engage tonight on a Q&A. I'm just going to Q&A with the group. I've got a few notes here, but nothing specifically planned with you guys other than just an obnoxiously large cup of coffee. I feel like running through Sheep Meadow and clapping my hands like friends. But sit back and enjoy yourself. Think about those things because I struggle all the time. I go back and forth and understanding what motivates people, what drives people. There's people out there with far more success in life financially than I'll ever have. Some of them have been bestowed it. But how many people out there actually go from nothing to something in this life? How many? Does everybody make it? Is there a guarantee of making it? Are there people out there that think that they should make it and they don't? Are there people out there that demand to make it and all of their decisions are circled around making decisions to make it no matter what? I spoke this week about a sense of entitlement in people. I mean that wholeheartedly. Is it the very pedigree that we're cut from, those generational tendencies that I talk about that drive our decisions one way or the other, which can prohibit our ability to really break free and find our own personal best? Is that what it is? I don't know. I pose these questions rhetorically, guys. Leave your questions in the group comments here as I'm going to get to them. I'm looking forward to engaging with you guys on a Q&A tonight on the Friday live stream. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. I gave you a little bit of an opening monologue to come in, get settled, enjoy yourself. We've got 40 minutes of a roller coaster in revolving around this topic and trying to drive down on the reasons why people fail to achieve financial wealth in this life with the plethora of options out there, with the very products that are out there, the very nature of me holding your hand and shepherding you to the end of the marathon and providing you that bottled water. As a matter of fact, just allowing you to choke it down because you're a winner and you still don't realize that you've won the race. We've got a lot of work to do, guys. Be back with you in just a moment. Taking risk in this life is paramount. That's the key right there. Okay. Institutions and retail investors, they invest differently. Why? Because institutions, I would love to be a fund manager for the institutions out there, man. All you got to do is just sit on your wads, right? and just make your millions. Okay. A little bit different for the retail application. We work hard for our money. Therefore, we need to invest those hard earned dollars in acknowledgement that we cannot be cavalier with our money. I get it. But you do need to have some level of perspective on ample risk taking, and that risk taking that is done in a responsible manner and within scale and within a certain percentage that is applicable to you. And that is the key here, guys. There's nothing that I'm going to tell you outside of tried and true fundamentals. These are the backbones of investing. Anybody can invest in VTIVOO. Anybody. Okay. But it's amazing how we revolve around that one product. And it's amazing how if we took 100 investors, I could make that fit in a little bit of a strategy over here, a little bit of a strategy over here. Here's somebody's risk tolerance. Look at somebody's budget and throttle back their monthly dollar cost average to 25 bucks a month. Whereas somebody who's making a higher than average, we want to add that VOO, fund that to the maximum. Maybe we want to house it into a Roth IRA. Maybe certain people already have that established. So you see here how we can take one product and we can apply it in so many different methods. And I really want you guys to take that home, because if you just heard what I said, you'll be sitting back and you'll be like, all right, I get it. The takeaway from what Ryan just said is that I need to find my own personal application. Freak, wake the hell up. You guys have been watching the channel now for 5 years. What the hell do you think I too means? Independent investor? You think I'm talking about me? I'm not. I'm talking about you. This is YouTube, okay? You come to YouTube to understand how it is that you do something in this life, all right? And something as interesting as buying one product, it's just amazing to me how some people can even take, misconstrue that information and totally royally screw it up even. Where I talked about taking the 100 investors and boom, add a little dab here, makes a little sense here. Strategic wealth building, boom, boom, boom. You got 401k, you already have S&P here. Maybe VOO doesn't work for you. That's a good decision. You see what I mean? Amazing to me how many people will get involved with passive investing and they'll be like, this is too boring for me, Ryan. This sucks. I don't want 10% a year. I want 100. Well, I want that too. Okay. Um, I always wanted a lot in this life, right? I wanted a Ferrari. Okay. The older I get, the less I care about stuff like that. I'm just kidding. I just use that as an example. But what we want, and we want so much in this life that sometimes I feel like our wants and our desires and our dreams and our luxury items that we enjoy in life seemingly become the norm for people. And when it becomes the norm for people, we become psychologically conditioned to expect that as our basic existence. Basic existence. We gonna go out to eat again, honey, tonight? Yeah, we just went out last night, honey. That's okay. We can go out again. I had one comment through my video that talked about people stop bitching all the time about this sense of entitlement. Nobody owes you squat. Okay, you only owe yourself. I too. Okay. You only owe yourself. Make it happen. Okay. Now, if you have means, I suggested that if you have means, by all means, treat yourself. Okay. I was questioning whether or not the individual actually watched the video because I alluded to this very thing. Okay. But here's the thing, and this is the staunch reality, and this is why people, at least I hope, this is why they tune into me, is because I drill down and then I drill down really, really hard. And here's the hard, tough love. Okay. A lot of people cannot make ends meet. Okay. And they should. Okay. They make enough money to invest. They certainly make enough money to feed themselves. And they certainly make enough money to do this and that and buy a new car every 6 months. They have money to do this and that and vacation every month. And they do this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that all over the place, right? They're good. Okay. They should absolutely have the ability to do this. Okay. But I think sometimes the sense of entitlement blinds a lot of people to just expecting that those things are always going to be there. That expenditures that could be unforeseen later on in life, they are immune to those things. And maybe they'll never get older. I don't know. Maybe they have a hard time seeing themselves in their future years. Okay, which is kind of part of the perspective that I speak about, not in understanding that, to avoid regret is to think about how to avoid regret now, right? Make decisions now. That's why when I digress on my aggressive posture day to day, I had a grind this week. It was a grind. It felt so good. Oh man, my new job is like if you took and just I don't know, sent a bolt of lightning through me. I'm so fired up right now. I come into my projects with a head of steam. You are going to find, and for you guys that perhaps maybe are making your way back to the channel after a while, you're going to find a shift in my content. You are going to find a shift in that core message of just speaking to people. Yeah, yeah, just speaking to people. And it is going to be in line with asking a very, very simple question. Am I going to be better off by consuming this content 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 or 14 minutes after the fact than I was before? And if you fail to answer that, I do not want your subscription to my channel. I don't. I don't. See, here's the thing. I know what works, and I am living, breathing proof of that. Okay. And the charge for me, quite frankly, is to come onto YouTube and say that magic thing that's just going to magically wisp you away to your millions. Okay, that's my charge. It's a pretty tough charge, right? Pretty tough. Okay, I'm a little bit more of a realist with regard to what my tasking is, and I don't have the ability to come on like a Graham Stephan and just have harps and harmonicas float out my mouth and have people watch my YouTube channel and actually levitate from their chair and mystify them and hypnotize them to believe that everything that I say is gospel. It's the contrary. My voice is raspy. I'm a realist. Okay. If you need to be punched in the face, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch you in the face to wake you up and make you realize that you're probably going to be your best advocate of your program. Okay. You can tune into all kinds of YouTube and you can tune into all kinds of different information and you can make those narratives fit your own, I guess. But the very moment that you decide to tune over the leaf of personal empowerment, that will be the correct step in the right direction. Okay. Because you really need to be honest with yourself about what you want out of this investing gig. You want to be honest with yourself about whether or not you want to go beyond the passive investing game. See, here's the thing as we pass through the passive investing avenue, think the vast majority of people, if not 100% of investors out there that I teach upon, should enter into this strategy on its onset. And it should be something that all investors participate in, no matter what, in some capacity or the next. If it just so happens to be your lone strategy, it could be very well be the one strategy that you have in your life that stays with you your entire life. Remember at the top of the live stream, I told you it's the very best strategy, and it is. It is. Okay. There's talking heads on YouTube that revolve around this topic to suggest that maybe this hybrid version over here, and there's passive is going to work over here, and this version over here is really good and they're really hell bent on this, and then it stops working, and it's like, shit, maybe it's this over here. I've got this new answer for you. If you buy my course, it's gonna work for you. I've got this new revelation, right? Pay attention. I'm gonna hypnotize you so you can believe everything that I say, right? Passive investing can work for the masses, okay? 99%. I believe that, and there is a presumption that into the future, the stock market over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, blocks of decades into the future, are going to reward shareholders that become participant in the market and they hold no matter what. They hold. The market goes down, no problem. I'm off 4.5% right now in the market. And I tell you what, over the last year and a half, everybody's been calling for hell and damnation. Seriously. Everybody's been telling me that. I'm very, very impacted, and I'm very, very concerned with what people are telling me I should believe about my own life. So I walk outside and I look up straight up at the heavens every single day before I go to work, and I'm waiting for them clouds to part, and they sure as hell haven't. And I've been watching this market go on a downturn for the last, Jesus, year and a half. I started talking about this in November, and I was late to the game. The stock market started to roll off January of 2021. Check the charts. I'm right. Of course I'm right. I mean, it is what it is. That's what it is. It started to roll off. Nobody was talking about it. Everybody was like, "Yeah, God dang it, the charge to the sun, man. God dang it, this is fantastic, man. Seriously, magic carpets do exist, and God dang it, this is incredible, man. Just watch these three YouTubers, man, and they'll take you all the way there, man. It's all good. It is all good, man. Just invest your money in anything, man. It'll take you to the moon. You can retire at 25. You never have to work another day in your life." I don't know how those people extract meaning from life if that's their end all goal. I don't quite understand that. I'm living right now, right now, right now. If you cut me open, I'd bleed. I'm fine right now. Whether or not you dub me retired and I can come on and tell you guys how you should listen to me because I'm really, really awesome because I was able to retire early. Um, I would never do that. I don't think it's something that's that admirable, to be honest with you. I don't. That's, I'm gonna offend some people at the fire community who are like, "God dang it, Ryan! God dang it, leave me alone, man. I want to retire at 22. Awesome. If that's your thing and that's you make that goal, I would say congratulations, man. Great, it's awesome." Um, where I have a problem is if you honestly think that you're going to retire at 25 and you are not hungry, and you are not willing to put in the work, and you think because you stumbled on a few YouTube videos that show you the light, yes, they show you light, and you believe that shit, you probably need to wake up because I can tell you from my perspective, and from anybody out there that's willing to listen to me, I am an advocate of hard work. I absolutely am. Um, I don't necessarily consider YouTube hard work. This is the top of the iceberg for me. My live stream is absolutely 100% enjoyable. Okay. But if you think for a second that that studio comes together free of charge, you listen, beg to differ. And you say, well, maybe that's hard work. Now you get my point. Okay. Why doesn't anybody just start a YouTube channel? It's easy, right? Just get your iPhone and start shooting videos and upload, and boom, you got 30,000 subscribers. It's just that easy. Oh, if you only knew the truth. Never ever in my life felt like work. Never felt like work. Um, just going through the trenches of understanding how to dial in a green screen, or how to edit my backgrounds, or how to frame up. I just went through a self tutorial this week. So I'm always trying to challenge myself in understanding lenses. My M50 camera that I'm shooting the new film with, I am super stoked at those renderings. It's amazing. But the lens that I got the 35mm lens. It's expensive as hell, but it's just amazing the difference in renderings. But I think the hard work lies in my willingness to continue to evolve and not ever get complacent. I'm never content. I have moments in my life where I sit back and I'm like, damn, I'm a pretty happy fella. You know what I mean? And they come in a lot of different forms. My wife helps me with that a lot. Seriously. I just love her to death. That's where I get that most important type of infusion in life. And I'm just like, okay, Jesus Christ, nothing else matters. You know what I mean? Nothing else matters. But I do get that every now and then for engaging in this project. Never could have foresaw the renderings of that when I engaged in this. But for when people come back and they turn back their successes to me, that's the very payment. The lighting, the cameras, the clear voice that comes through, all of those coupled together with many other things, has the power to transcend. And it has the power to reach people in such a manner not to be misconstrued that the influence is there from me to you, but the influence is there insofar as you take some time to self reflect and truly understand what it means to be independent, what it means to walk around with your head a little bit higher, because you were not influenced. Rather, you have command over everything that you do. Everything that you do, you have command over it. You have the willpower to decide to go left or right. You have the idea to either invest or not invest, to understand that the investments are there and they are going to continue to work whether or not you fund them or not, whether or not to evolve and add continual layers onto your portfolio. It's a beautiful thing. And I come on every single Friday and I look to share that with you, because that, I find, my friends, is somewhat lacking, because I'm first to really downgrade um, the thought that somehow I'm somebody special, in that if you come in here, expect to be hypnotized, and I say, and you do, and you walk off like minion, go to make millions in stock market. It's not like that, man. It's just not like that. If you fail at the stock market, it's because you have failed to identify your own personal potential. And I'm of the belief, and I'm a very positive person when it comes to this. And it speaks to me when I speak one on one with people who are like, Ryan, I'm really interested in the stock market, man. I really am. I hear you're the guy in stock market investing. And I hear that and I sometimes cringe, because in less than 5 minutes, I can give you the goods. Hell, I can give you the goods in less than 30 seconds. How many people are going to hear that? That's that's beyond me, because 30 seconds is not going to break down personal barriers that you've looked to build up over your life, as well as incorporate and exacerbate from your generational tendencies from dad or mom telling you, hey, I screwed up, so therefore you need to avoid my screw ups, rather than look to take a strategic shot in this life, right? Yeah. Take a shot. Don't live your life in fear. Okay. You live your life in fear. I tell you what, it probably sets yourself up for the greatest potential for regret in this life. Going through life, always wondering what could have been. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. Some people are going to end up lucky. That's lovely and great. Me, you go to the casino with me. Let me rephrase. You do not want to go to the casino with me. You don't. I'm the most unlucky bastard. You ever been around those people who are like the luckiest people? They're just like they trip and fall, and they come up with gold in their mouth, and it's like, damn, how did you do that? God, I don't know, man. Let's trip and fall again. They come up with gold in their ear, or they step into the casino, they throw, $20 on the craps table, and boom, they get paid out 500. Okay, let's go to the buffet. It's like, holy moly, man, that stuff never happens to me. Never, never. But when I look back over the course of my life, I think it's been a lot of being in the place that has made me eligible to maybe enjoy a little streak of luck in a lot of different things. hmm hmm The one that baffles me the most is the interaction that I had with my wife. That's the one that baffles me the most. Why? Why was I there? Why did that happen? Um, that probably required the most luck. That's why I tell you guys all the time, you want to come on here, we can straighten out the dollars and cents of a portfolio. You can buy into this idea and you can be like, God dang, Ryan doesn't like to use the word investing. He likes to talk about wealth building and, separating surplus capital, to build a portfolio of meaning and girth, you know, it's got cojones. But I can't help you with the relationship side. You're on your own there, man. You get to find another channel about that type of stuff. Pursue with veracity. It is the greatest thing that you can ever pursue and achieve in this life. The family, it's the most incredible thing. The money topic is shallow. I was explaining to a colleague today. It's one of those topics that sometimes it's hard to talk to with people. A lot of people have been ingrained that they need to be secretive about their money and they don't need to disclose anything about what their tendencies are for the sheer possibility of somebody like myself saying, hey, you're doing it wrong. That's exactly what you need to do. Throw it out there. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be rude. If you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. Look, if I'm doing something wrong, tell me I'm doing it wrong. I'm not going to have an ego about it. I have no problem with that. Okay? Get over yourself. Stop being such a bitch. Okay? Just get over yourself. Humble yourself a little bit. Not everything that you have to deploy in this life is so noble that nobody needs to know about it. Maybe you'll find out that those noble actions that you have in your life do, in fact, need to be scrutinized. And a matter of fact, in a lot of cases, shit canned in a lot of capacities. Let it go. Too many effing know it alls in this life. No doubt about it. That's why I sometimes wonder about this project, and that's why I try to keep it as above board as I can because I do know a lot about this topic. I really do. But I don't want to be misconstrued through YouTube as one of those people who come on and, it's like this guy can rant for 60 minutes and I certainly can. I could rant for 6 hours on personal finance because here's the thing, it's so much less about what it is that I have to say, rather trying to combat what I feel is a plague out there in society about people's unwillingness to change and evolve and take on a new perspective. Are you to suggest that people are not only unwilling but incapable of change? Is that where we are now? That's not me. I can tell you that much right now. Um, this is going to require you to change. And a lot of people, man, it was like, shit, you scared me off. I can't watch this guy anymore. I can't, man. He's driving too deep, man. He's requiring personal action on myself. I didn't sign up for this. This free YouTube thing, this sucks. I want to tune into YouTube, find out how to make millions of dollars in the stock market. I don't want to do shit to get this damn Ryan guy. God dang, he's talking about 8% a year. It's because there really is no escape. If people knew what that escape was, don't you think that that would be public knowledge out there, and you would have YouTubers dropping up? Here's the irony in this, in the sleight of hand that goes on YouTube, is YouTubers come on and they make a ton of money on YouTube, and they morph that in with their investing protocol, and they hypnotize you to believe that they've got all the answers because they've got a lot of money. I'm going to give you a secret. They don't. Okay? The best proponent that you are going to find in this life for your money is going to be you and you alone. Sorry you had to tune into a YouTube channel like myself to have me reciprocate that to you. But that, my friends, is the truth. It's the truth. All right? Let me get you some stuff here. As he says, the fastest 60 minutes here. Mr. Ryan Longwood is in the house. It is fast. It's fast for me. I relish in this opportunity. I relish in this opportunity. I love it. I love it. I do. I love it. It's great. It's so great. It's something that I really, really look forward to, and I enjoy. I wish I could do it longer. Perhaps maybe when I retire and I don't care so much about the YouTube algorithm. I don't care about it, but it does really hurt my channel. It's too bad. It's really weird. I don't get promoted. I'm not picking up that many subscribers. We'll start to grow again as I start to get the content back to a little bit more. I've had a few comments come through that have been nice to say that I'm going back a little bit more to my roots. The roots have always been there. If you've paid attention, you only need to hear it one time. Some people need to hear it 612 times before they get it. And that's all right. If you've been with me a while, you know that I revolve around the same core nucleus of tried and true fundamentals. I just deliver it in a little bit different of a fashion and a little bit different of a dialect. And perhaps maybe sometimes if that would reciprocate well with people and they receive the message well. But we can have a little bit of fun about this deal because In all actuality, the core drive of mine is that the stock market can be extremely rewarding, extremely. There's no way a pigeon head like myself should have the net worth that I do, with the amount of, I guess I would consider myself educated. I have some college. I like kind of when I had the decision to go left to the avenue of college, it just didn't feel right. And it was as if the winds of change were blowing me to the right. hmm Life. Life happened to me, my friends. If you can go get a college degree, I highly encourage you to do that. It just wasn't in the cards for big old Ryan. And I'm somewhere in between my business degree, between a associate's degree and a bachelor's degree. I could probably finish out and get what they consider to be a master's. Okay. Master's. It's okay. I've engaged in self study over the last 5 years. I built my company, and this is all mine. People are like, "You do all this editing and all this cool stuff yourself?" Yep, that's all me. Not bad for Omar Pickett from the country, is it? Have an I love New York obnoxiously big Friends mug instead of the pitchfork. But you get the picture anyway. Does this guy make this shit up? No, this is truly me. This is truly me, man. I totally enjoy it, man. Yeah, the Vipers are in the house today, man. This is great. Jamie, it's great to see you, my friend. Thank you. To me, it's hard not to act on that low Hyliion price. I will have to look into Hyliion. Stand by for just a sec. But I also have to consider a lot of established businesses are very cheap now. Indeed, buying the market is a good time here. Um, Hyliion's gone up and it's retracted and now it's back up again. So I wouldn't be so fast to suggest maybe that this is in a position here where it needs to be bought aggressively. I think the time to buy it aggressively was just a few short days ago because it's proven that it does nothing but go down. So this little stint of it going up may just be considered a head fake. So I'm not accumulating shares of Hyliion. I'm actually up in one of my positions in Hyliion, which is my $3 strike 2024 leaps. That was a good one. I bought those at 265, something insanely stupid. I thought, well, hell, Jesus, let's just throw fate to the wind here and take another strategic shot, which I've taken like 22 strategic shots on Hyliion. but um, I will explain the psychology of this trade when the time is right. That right there, my friends, is going to be riveting material, riveting. And I don't presume to need to hypnotize the audience to deliver that. I'll just tell the truth. I'll tell what it is I deliberated around and why, and how your ability to enter into a stock and by everybody else's account misjudge the timing of it. But when you stretch it across a long enough continuum, can understand that that is a futile argument when talking about a company that you enter into and it just takes a little bit longer to materialize. It's just that simple. Stock market investing, we cannot apply what we make up in our brains to make sense in the stock market all the time. I'm not saying accept everything, but people are a little bit more. I see some of the scrutiny come through, and it's like, well, did you have the stones to make the play? How are you doing financially? Do you have a lesson for me, my friend? Please entertain me. I'm listening. hmm When it comes to finances, most people are a disaster. They are. hmm Most people are a disaster. If the world changes and the independent investor channel makes rogues of people out there that start kicking some ass as independent investor channels and we all walk around like a bunch of empowered badasses, then all right, I'll yield. Maybe I'll shut the channel down. There will be no need for me anymore. But until that day, I'm going to continue to beast through this message because I tell you what, people need it, society needs it, and dang, the world needs it. I tell you what, man, we could learn a lot from each other. And it is just one singular voice, but man alive, this applies to the masses, doesn't it? It sure does. And if it needs to be me to deliver the message in my way, great, great. If it helps people, lovely. I'm all about it. I aim to hit the nail on the head every now and then to get people's attention. But you hit the nail on the head. My biggest regret is beginning my investment journey later in life. Um, Yes and no. I guess, like investing, there's no perfect life either. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm hard on people in general. And I think, if I were in that position and by nature of the course of how my life unfolded, I didn't have the means or the wherewithal to invest. And then somehow I look back on my life and I'm like, God, Ryan's kind of throwing it at me a little bit in that, maybe I should have some regret. That doesn't apply to you. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Investing in the stock market is not an avenue to happiness. It is not. Okay. And for those people that do invest and they do end up having financial success, it does not, and I do repeat, my friend, it does not render you successful at life. It does not. So keep some perspective about this deal. Okay. I'm not looking to build an army of minions of financially secure assholes here. I'm not. My question that I buried deep in this live stream where I was talking about, do regular people ever make it? Do poor people ever get rich? Do people that deserve financial wealth ever actually achieve it? Can people work hard and actually achieve greatness in this life? Perhaps maybe you can, not you, Jerry, but the grander audience, perhaps maybe put me at ease and let me know that my efforts are futile because people who are poor never get rich. You can't work your way to success. You have to rely on luck. You have to step on everybody that you possibly can to get to the top. Right? I can go on and on and on and on about my perspective and my interpretation that there are a lot of people out there that make it, and they sure as hell do not deserve to make it. They don't. I'm worried about those people. I'm not. I'm really looking to advocate for those people that absolutely do deserve it and earmarking those realistic, tried and true methods of building wealth. And here's the thing, in your situation, it says, but I'm excited for what might lie ahead. That is the key, my friend. That is the key. You might not be able to render millions out of your portfolio, but isn't it at this point about the sheer, um, it's about the sheer just direction of what you're doing. It's doing the right thing, right? And yeah, you might not have those millions, but maybe you do save, a few thousand. Maybe you get up to that 10,000. Maybe you earmark a few financial thresholds that I so elegantly lay out there for the group. I lay it out there. I believe that there's 11. I mean, there's 11. Okay. 500, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 10,000. 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, a quarter million, a half a million, and 1 million. That's 11. Count them. If you don't believe me, people are going to be like, God dang it, Ryan, that was only nine and a half. You son of a bitch. There was 13 there, Ryan. There's 11. Okay. And if you paid close attention, the onset allows you to advance through 500, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 10,000. Five of those thresholds in the first $10,000 that you'll earn. And that's why I would suggest that for people who aren't at that threshold, and you very well may be above that 10, well then you add the sixth on there at 25 and then the seventh at 50, right? Eight puts you up to that six figure. It's just the breakdown in the thresholds of wealth that I talk about. Because there's so many people out there that are like, sure, Ryan, I want my millions. Show me how to get there. Well, I'll show you how to get to your first 5,000 or 500 overnight. It's called your starting capital. Okay. but it may take a little bit longer to get to that first 1,000. May take even longer to get to that first 2,500. This is assuming that the budget is constrained a little bit to affect that dollar cost average schedule and drive you down to something that can fit into each and every one of y'all's budget. And I should have people coming to the channel that's like, God dang, I just heard what Ryan said, man. I whipped that ass. I can get to $5,000 overnight. Great. Okay. It's great. I'm not going to fluff your butt. Okay. Good for you. Lovely. Why haven't you done it on your own? Why do you have to come in and get some motivation from a guy who you do not know? You do not know me. Okay? It's great you did it on your own, but are you doing it on your own accord, or are you doing it because this really motivated, really intense fella sat across from a YouTube audience and said, "This is what you should do"? Yeah, I can do that, Ryan. Got that 5,000 bucks. God dang, I can do that right now. I can get to that first. Yeah, overnight. I'm going to do it tomorrow, Ryan, because you're the man. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I'm going to do it on Monday. You're the man, Ryan. You're the best. And you don't invest another dime to it because you missed the freaking point, right? Hmm. Wealth building. It is a strategy and a perspective and a mental mindset that escapes a lot of people, my friend. I'm glad to have you in the community. I'm sorry to take this comment and kind of make a lesson out of it, but it was a good one if you heard it. Thank you for sharing, my friend. It takes some bravery to come on and share something like that, but keep it in context, okay? I speak broadly with regard to people's deficiency, but when I talk about good people in this life, some have finances and some don't. It's certainly not a measure of a man or a woman in this life. No doubt about it. There's a lot of good people out there. A lot of people are good people and they don't need money. They don't need financial wealth. They don't need to drive themselves the way I drive. You guys think that this is all good and plenty for me? Hell, this is somebody might look at me and say, Jesus Christ, Orion's crazy. He wakes up at 4:45 and goes to the gym. I can't do that. So you could be right. You could be right. You want to walk this road with me? No problem. You're welcome to come to the gym with me. I can be rest assured that I will go tomorrow and there will be nobody there walking the same path that I walk. Okay. It's tough. Sometimes it feels like a curse in that I'm doing things that I do even if I don't feel like I have a choice in the matter. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm answering a higher calling. I believe that there's people out there who can get a sense of motivation from my message. Maybe if they get a spark of inspiration and they see this. Remember, this is live. This is coming through on July 8, 2022 here, but it goes into the archives forever. And if somebody finds this 10, 20 years from now, may not quite have the impact tonight. This YouTube audience is tuning in and they're like, man, this Crown Royal Black is awesome, man. This is great. This guy's awesome. He's all fired up. It's throwing a few curse words in there and talking about fluff and ass and shit like that. But it's green content, man. It stands the test of time because it's applicable. It's applicable. It doesn't necessarily mean because it's 2022 it's going to fall on deaf ears in 23. As a matter of fact, it becomes more valuable because when people actually hear this stuff, they're like, dang, what I took away from that, I'm actually going to deploy. And when I addressed at the top of the live stream, finding those perfect things to say, being charged with delivering a message in a way that really, really reaches people, could you do that? I often state that I'm humbled at the very opportunity that I get through YouTube for people who find a sense of motivation from the message. I am humbled. I, I'd be one of those guys that would cook you a hamburger on the barbecue. I'd have a beer with you. Um, Nobody special at all. I think perhaps what maybe makes me special is my ability to relate with people, and really come on and not profess to have all the answers, and not profess to or demand that you sit across from me and deploy everything I say and not question what it is I say or not take what I say and make it kind of incorporate in your life, right? Because if you're not going to extract meaning in what we're looking to do, then what the hell are we doing what we're doing, right? I want you to think about that. Okay. Think about those things that, as we become wealth builders for ourselves, don't ever be complacent. Always looking to evolve. Always looking to find that next layer in the program and internalize this, guys. Make it yours. You'll be moving one step toward an empowered investor. And I'll give you the last secret. If you've stayed with me for the totality of this live stream, you'll never actually be totally fulfilled in this life. Okay. You can only pursue that end. And it's the pursuance of that end that makes it all worthwhile. It absolutely does. I mentioned during the live stream that I'm doing my living right now. If you want to consider me retired right now, no problem. I do three professions and I love every single one of them. And this is just a small piece of my engagement with a YouTube audience to come on, share my insights, some coaching, some inspiration for people to maybe look to be a wealth builder for them and their families for their financial future, to inevitably get to a place in life where we reflect back and we have the littlest chance of incurring regret later on in life. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. Really appreciate you guys. It is the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. It goes by super fast for me. I do apologize. There's nothing I can do. I've tried to figure out how to slow down time. I cannot do that. And I am not a hypnotist. Guys, appreciate your time tonight. We'll be back next Friday on the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube, the Independent Investor Channel live stream. Be well, guys. Have a great, great weekend. And we'll catch you next week on the Independent Investor Channel live stream.